Hi, I'm Art, and I'm back at Riley Park Community Garden. Fourth week of May coming up, and we would like to talk about what's happening in the garden at this point in time. I'm going to have Charlene come and talk to us about what's happening in the physical environment.
Hi everyone, I'm Charlene, and today we're going to talk about sunlight and temperature, two very important growing requirements. Now, we're officially less than a month away from the start of summer, and our days have become longer with prolonged periods of daylight. With plants, for their vegetative growth, they require 6 to 8 hours of sunlight a day. And keep in mind, they need to photosynthesize. So what I mean by photosynthesis is energy from the sun plus carbon dioxide from the environment, and the roots absorb water from the soil. We're also going to be talking about temperatures. And late spring, early summer, our average temperatures can range from 15 to 25 degrees. We also tend to have in spring a bit more rain, like it's raining today. However, into the summer months, we have longer stretches of drier, hotter periods. So our soil temperatures are really important to note too. Usually you can direct sow or transplant when the soil temperature is 10 degrees. And you might have noticed an explosion of growth happening in your garden or gardens around you. So remember that sunlight, 6 to 8 hours, plus temperature, anything warmer than 15 degrees, is going to equal productive growth in your garden.
So, Charlene, what's the feature crop of the week?
The feature crop of the week is kale. Kale is a biannual plant, and biannual means that it takes 2 full years for it to fulfill its life cycle. During the first stage, or the first year, kale is in a vegetative growth stage, so it grows to maturity and produces all these beautiful kale leaves as foliage. Over the winter, the growth slows, but it's still producing baby leaves, which are actually sweeter after the first frost. And then in the spring, well, it shifts its energy and it starts to produce seed. It goes into reproductive growth. So it sends up these long flowering stalks with these tiny yellow flowers, which, as you can see, the bees love. It's a great source of nectar, and I've even seen a few hummingbirds enjoying these kale flowers. The kale flowers are actually edible. You can eat them. They're really tasty. I like to put them in the oven and make them just like kale chips, or sprinkle them on salads as well.
So it's quite likely that kale and perhaps other of the brassica family will be choices that people in this community will want to add to their garden.
Absolutely. You can plant kale now. It has a really long growing season. As I mentioned, it's 2 years, but you can keep succession planting kale, so you always have a continual harvest to enjoy.
Okay, so harvesting. Do we just come in and whack it off and take the whole plant into the kitchen, or what's the best way to do this?
Yeah, that's a great question. So when it's in its early stages and it's still growing, I would recommend using a pair of sharp, clean pruners, and at the base of the stem, just giving it a little bit of a snip. You can also snip these pods as well, right at the base of the stem. But with kale, the more you cut it, the more it's going to grow. It's quite resilient. And it's a plant that is great for both raised garden beds and containers, and incredibly easy to grow. And I'm sure most people don't know that kale has a lot of vitamin C, so it's actually very good for you as well.
Okay. So what would you suggest we should be planting this coming week?
Yeah, that's a great question, Art. So we can start to plant carrots and beets. You can direct sow them, just like you can direct sow dill. And let's not forget about some beautiful edible flowers like nasturtiums and calendula. Those can go in the garden as well.
Of course, we can continue transplanting heat-loving crops like tomatoes and peppers and that sort of thing.
And cucumbers.
And cucumbers. So that concludes our session here for the fourth week of May. Remember, if you would like more specific information, if you'd like some more site-specific help, go to our website, Riley Park Community Garden, and click on the Garden Guides button and do our survey. And we'll do our best to get back to you in a timely way.
And you can also come out and visit us at Riley Park Community Garden. We're located on 30th and Ontario Street. But remember, 2 meters apart, physical distancing to ensure a safe experience for yourself and others. From both myself and Art, until we see you next time, have a good week.